You find a new topic you want to master. You buy the textbooks, download the apps, and dive right in with absolute peak motivation. But a few weeks later, the momentum fades. You hit a conceptual wall, get frustrated, and quietly abandon the whole project. That cycle of failure usually happens for one specific reason. You tried to study the subject before you actually figured out how to study it. In his book, Ultralearning, Scott H. Young maps out a strategy used by people who take on intense, self-directed education projects to master hard skills in record time. Successful self-educators rely on a preparation phase that happens before the actual learning begins. Young calls this phase meta-learning. The Greek prefix meta implies stepping beyond or taking a higher-level view. So meta-learning is simply learning about learning. You are mapping out the terrain of the subject itself. A good rule of thumb here is the 10% rule. If you expect a project to take 100 hours, you should dedicate the first 10 hours strictly to drawing your strategic map. To draw an accurate map, you have to interrogate your new project using 3 questions: why, what, and how. The first question, why, forces you to diagnose your exact motivation. Generally, your drive to learn will fall into one of 2 categories: instrumental or intrinsic. Instrumental learning means you are after a specific external outcome. For example, you might study data visualization strictly because your current job is changing, and you need those skills to stay relevant. Intrinsic learning means you are pursuing the subject for its own sake. You want to master French or learn to paint simply because you enjoy the challenge and the craft itself. Confusing these 2 motivations is a trap. If your goal is conversational Spanish for a business trip, but you adopt an approach designed for deep academic mastery, you will end up wasting hundreds of hours on complex grammar rules you will never actually use in a meeting. Pinpointing your exact motivation acts as a filter. It gives you permission to cut out material that doesn't serve your goal, protecting your time. Once you know exactly why you are learning, you can move to the what phase. This acts as a triage system to organize the raw knowledge of your subject. Divide a page into 3 columns: concepts, facts, and procedures. Concepts are abstract ideas requiring deep logical understanding. Facts are raw data points demanding memorization, like vocabulary or syntax. Procedures cover physical and mental actions requiring strict repetition, like perfecting pronunciation. Categorizing the subject this way reveals your specific bottlenecks. A heavy facts column tells you to invest in spaced repetition software, while a heavy procedures column means you need intense physical practice over reading. Finally, we arrive at how. This is where you design your actual curriculum and source your materials. The smartest way to start is through benchmarking. Instead of guessing, you investigate how successful people have traditionally learned this exact skill. If you want to master computer science, you can look directly at the undergraduate curriculum at a place like the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, isolating the specific classes and textbooks they assign to their students. But you don't have to follow that benchmark perfectly. You use what Young calls the emphasize-exclude method. You take that traditional curriculum and cut away the modules that don't serve the why you established earlier. If a niche topic is crucial to your career, you emphasize it. If a required university class doesn't match your specific goal, you exclude it. Answering how transforms a generic, one-size-fits-all syllabus into a blueprint focused only on the resources you actually need. Without this preparation, a learner remains stuck in Chapter 1 of a generic textbook. Meanwhile, the ultralearner is already accelerating down a path built specifically for their needs. Meta-learning functions as a compounding skill. Every time you complete this research, you build a library of proven strategies. The method you use to find a benchmark for computer science will help you find a benchmark for public speaking. The software you use to memorize vocabulary in Spanish will work just as well for anatomy. This ensures that each project makes the next one faster to plan and easier to start. So before you dive into your next ambitious goal, stop. Resist the urge to start studying immediately and take the time to draw the map. Mastering the ability to learn on your own terms provides the flexibility to adapt to new challenges long after the classroom ends.